Okay, let's go. This is the Tangzu collaboration. It's a 2DD. If you are a subscriber, comment below this video. Give the video a thumbs up if you generally like it. I'm going to give 3 of these away, and I'm going to do them all in this week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 3 sets are going to be given away, so comment below. You got to be a subscriber. Thank you very much. If you give the video a thumbs up, I appreciate it. This was a set that was originally going to... Now, you look at it, and it's got very polite tuning. I've got the Hexa and the Zero Red up there because it's most similar to those 2 sets. It doesn't have the BA timbre like the Hexa does because I'm very sensitive to that, and there's a reason why I've never, ever, out of 16 collaborations, ever done a DD with BAs in the treble. Never done it. It's been put forth to me several times, but I'll likely never go that way. So it doesn't sound like the Hexa in the energy that you get in the harmonics, and I prefer it with the DD. It's kind of like the red, but I think it sounds a little more... I'm biased, but I prefer it to the red, which I thought, because I'm always comparing that to the blue. Now, this is a set that originally was supposed to come out when the Hades came out. So the Hades was going to be hell, and this was going to be heaven. And I switched the colors. The red is actually heaven and blue is actually hell. And neither of them came out at 11/11. Neither of them came out at Black Friday. And then Hades dropped later. Bassheads love it. Everybody else doesn't love it, too, hates it. But that was anticipated. And this was supposed to be the complete opposite of that. And let them go together because they're both... you could pick them both up for under $150. So I thought it was a good idea. I thought it was fun. And here I am, April 15th, excuse me. And here's the second part of the 2-headed dragon that was supposed to come out December, January, February, March, April, 5 months ago. So getting 1 out in time in the way that you want it is challenging. Getting 2 out, I should have known. But here we are. But that's not anybody's fault. It has to do with, there's so many things that can go on. It's as much my fault as anybody else's, so there's nothing there. I'm gonna rank this, by the way. Let me put up my thing if I haven't already. Let me talk about music. As we start in the low end bass, Big Boy Kill Jill is not what this thing was tuned for. As you can see, that was what Hades is for. Hades was the hip hop car audio system type replay. This is something that will play back the 3 drops, remember, that's an amplitude scale. It's giving equal energy to the 3 hits. It's just relative to the Hatsune Miku. It's not as prominent, so the low end isn't right up front like it maybe should be with hip-hop tracks. As we get into a 4 and 5 string bass guitar replay like that, like on the red, like on the Hexa, sounds fairly normal. Might not be to the scale and the amplitude in the mix that you want it to be from time to time, depending on the track, but it's an accurate replay of the instrument itself. I think it sounds really nice with Please Do Not Go by the Violent Femmes, the little interlude that goes on there for about 20 seconds. I think it's 219 to 239. I think that sounds quisha, we used to say, which means it sounds very nice. The bottom kick drum is very much the same. It sounds accurate. Sounds like an emphasized, produced kick drum. It doesn't have the amplitude and scale that might be what some people want because they love that low end, and I'm one of those people. But it does sound accurate. It's not scooped, and it's not blown out into the vocals. Now, as we get into the vocals, which is really the mids, this is where this set was really supposed to be shining. My sets are always warm to a fault for some people because they've got female bass libraries. This is a set like Crin's Red and like the Hexa, which should do really good with female vocals. And listening to the Blondie cover with Nina, it sounds as good as anything besides the Jupiter and maybe the other Tangzu collab. Those both sound really good with female vocals. The Heyday and the Jupiter both do good with female vocals, even though the Jupiter's got a lower pina. It's such a clean replay. This sounds really, really good with that. Chris Cornell sounds good. Lane Staley doing Rooster sounds really good as well. Again, vocals are really where this does excellent. The cymbals sound good. The cymbals are up in the upper mids. The stick strike is around 500 to 700 hertz. We isolated that in another video if you want to take a look at that someday. You can isolate that with a spectrogram where the stick is striking, and it's right in the middle of the mids, but most of the harmonics are in the upper mids and not so much in the treble actually. So when that's boosted up, what was that set we were talking about before? The Moondrop TWS that had that emphasis right there at 3K pushed forward. That would give the cymbals a little bit of unnatural energy. And then you might, by a late peak, have a little zing, but this set doesn't have that. So cymbals sound good. Keyboards sound excellent. Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding with Elton John, I think sounds good. It sounds really good, actually. Hendrix guitar with distortion pedal sounds very good. I love this set, but I like it for my classic rock library and stuff like that. I actually kind of like it for Massive Attack as well, because the bass is at such a point where the drone sounds fine, that kind of very low mix, and then there's a lot of other stuff going on. Even some Tupac tracks, which have tons of what stoners do with studio filled with sliders and compressors and filters they did with Shorty Wanna Be a Thug, and a bunch of stuff off of that album right there, All Eyes on Me. Actually sounds good on this set. If I were to put this and rank it on my own scale, which is so biased, it's ridiculous. I'm going to try not to be too biased. Not a dumpster fire. I'm going to move it off of that. Hope It Was Free. I'm going to move it off of that, but 3 of you are going to get it for free. Coping Is Working. It's a collab, so you better, everybody that does a collab better, there's some of that in there. Competes with its peers. It's $70. The Hexa is, I think, around there, and the red is around there, if not $5 cheaper. And I think it competes with those two sets, so I would say it does. I'd buy it. I'd hope to say that, but that's too strong for a collab. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check competes with its peers. I think it does. I think it's clear what it's tuned to do, and if it's not, I'm telling you now, it's great for guitar. It's great for vocals. It does a 4 and 5 string bass guitar very well. For hip-hop centric libraries, let's talk about audiophile and bass head for just a second. These are not mutually exclusive terms. Did I just say that right? A bass head is someone that wants a ton of bass. Now, if you are a hip-hop head and you go to live shows, or you produce, or you're just around the game, listening to that in that way is audiophile. It's faithful reproduction. So you can be an audiophile and bass head at the same time. It doesn't matter what the genre is. It just matters that you want it the way you heard it live, which reference is what reference used to be, and I don't know what it is now, the age of targets, but it used to be, I think it was center seat 10 rows back of a live show with a front of stage mixer, which is the guy that's actually with a big deck, but he's facing the stage and not the audience, and he's actually in the audience, and he's listening to the replay and adjusting everything, so that, because he's in the audience, so he's listening to them. Stuff done like that, live shows, that's what I want my gear to sound like. This set sounds good, and it gives an accurate replay to stuff like classic rock and roll. If you get into hip hop and you're an audiophile that wants that big slam, this wouldn't be the set that you would be going for. I think that's pretty obvious by the graph, but I'll just back that up. I'm biased, but I'm not stupid. I'm just going to go ahead and put that right out there. Thank you guys for your support. I get to do this because you guys buy the stuff. Without that, it doesn't happen. So people say, oh, you've done like 15, 16 collabs. It's because they all sell a whole bunch to sell a lot, because that's what this hobby is about. Embrace it. Get into it. Talk about what you want. What things are lacking. I got another set in my hand right now that's, if I had heard it before it came in, I would have given advice that probably would have helped it sell better. And I've been doing that for years. A lot of people have. So thank you guys for your support. I appreciate it. Remember, comment below the video, give it a thumbs up if you genuinely like it. And good luck to you. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Remind me on some platform where you see me acting like, bro, you're supposed to give one away. Don't hesitate to nudge me on the shoulder. Like, hey, bro, I got a kid, man. I'm super busy. No offense, but so if Thursday comes and I haven't given one away, just be like, brother, it's Thursday in Japan, which should be probably, I think you guys are a day behind me. And just be like, and then boom, I'll pick one from the comment section. I've just got to confirm that you're a subscriber. And again, thank you to Tangzu. These things look absolutely gorgeous, and I think they play really good in their price range. I believe that. If he had come out with the Hades, it would have been the epic thing that I imagined it would be. It's still a great set, but the whole yin-yang thing was going to be plans, It's fun to make them. It's hard to make them happen. So I'm out. You guys have a good one. And I'm really out now.